Hey guys, so welcome back to Indirect Knowledge. So this morning, we actually have a very special tarot card reading, and just for the sake of privacy, we're just going to use the first couple initials, and just going to call this person Joe. And Joe wants to know. She wants to know when that special someone that's meant for her is coming into her life, and to just share any insights or perspective on that. Maybe share like what that person's like, that kind of thing, and just see what we can pick up in that. So that is what we're going to do. Putting the cards out now, and okay. So what I like to do is I have I like to divvy up my readings sort of into three parts, especially if I'm doing a reading like this. And that just kind of helps me kind of along my process. I sort of have, I don't know, it's just a way for me to kind of work with the energy a little bit easier. And it helps me to intuit things with a little bit more accuracy and clarity. So the first third that I like to look at is really the past, present, and future. This gives me perspective in terms of what has recently happened as far as the past goes. And we're talking maybe 3 to 6 months out in the past, even over the course of a year, perhaps. And then we look at really where the present situation is now. And then finally, we look at a little bit at the future. So that's kind of the first third that I like to look at. Then what I like to do is I like to more or less focus on the present moment and kind of what's going on in the present. And by being able to do that, we can get more clarity and insight, and then be able to kind of look to see what would be most likely the situation as far as like a person's propensity or can kind of feel our way around sort of the likelihood that someone would take action or not. And then I like to look at the person that's actually asking me the question or needing the tarot card reading. I like to look at really kind of where their attitude or their mindset or kind of what they would like to have happen sort of come about. So that's kind of the second third of this whole process. And then the last and final third of the reading focuses us on really what the outcome is going to be and really what the answer to the best outcome would be. So give us some insight and perspective on that. And from that direction, we can do give a little bit of direction, put things out there and whatnot. So let's get started. So in the past, we have the Knight of Cups. Okay, so Knights are really about movement. Cups are about emotion. It's about intuition. It's about desire. It's about wishes. Cups are also about relationships. And that's really what we're focusing in on this, is sort of like movement in the direction of relationships. Direction can mean a lot of things for different people. So it's really up to the individual to kind of make sense of this card, really for themselves and kind of given their situations. Now we're talking about the past, so it's easy to kind of get some perspective on the past because, well, we've already lived it. We've already been there, done that. So as far as this goes, is like, what has been the movement to kind of get us more, moving forward in this direction of relationships? And that's really what this card is really all about. It's sort of there's sort of that desire, that, that place within us that says, I'm really wanting this more and more now. There comes a time in life where people start to kind of yearn or desire or have kind of an attraction towards a relationship with someone else, sort of a romantic relationship, a love relationship, that kind of thing. So it fills a need. So that's where the Knight of Cups is at. And that's where the past has been. It's sort of just this looking toward where in this case, Mr. Right or Miss Right would be. Let's look at the present, though. So the present card, we have the Eight of Cups. If you look at this cup, you see all the cups upright. Just a little bit of water. You see some land and stuff. You see this person kind of walking away from the relationships or walking away from the cups. And you see the moon in the backdrop, and the moon is representative of mystery. The moon can be very hypnotizing. The moon can also cause us to do introspection or to think about things outside of, day-to-day life, where things might be, our conscious self is really there. So it's more of that unconscious kind of energy. It's sort of like where we start to investigate kind of more about, what's really meaningful to us. Where are we kind of at with everything? And this walking away from relationships and all is almost like we want something a little bit deeper than just things that have been there in the past. We want something that's more in alignment with like where our values are, where our spiritual beliefs are, someone that's going to complete us, someone that's going to be, a factor in our life that we can really get on with. And so it's sort of this journey, so we've had things in the past. These other cups could be relationships with family members. They could be relationships with friends, a lot of different things, that we've held on to, that we valued, that were really there for us. But this walking away is sort of like we're taking this journey. It's like we're kind of leaving that to take care of itself for now. And we're kind of going more in this direction of trying to figure out, okay, it's more personal for us. It's like more of like what we want, and what that is going to look like. So that's kind of where we're at with that. And in terms of the future, we have the Hermit card that comes up. Now, I'm calibrated to about 3 months out as far as what I pick up. And depending on the energy of this particular card, I can kind of give some perspective in terms of like what I'm sort of picking up. I'm picking up about 5 months out with this particular card. And in 5 months, we see this Hermit card. Now, the Hermit card, as you can imagine, a hermit is someone that more or less resides on their own, kind of goes at life, in their own direction, kind of is on a journey, where that doesn't include other people, so to speak. And so we kind of see that here as well, where like, it's still sort of this time of like where we're investigating or we're really trying to get a clearer picture of what it is that we desire and to let things just kind of normally and naturally just kind of come into play. So the Hermit kind of indicates for us, like within about this 5-month period and all that, over maybe the next 5 months, we're more or less on this journey alone. We're not really with other people so much on it. We're not really involving ourselves with other people. We're not really in a relationship per se, but it's more along the lines of, the Hermit is gaining wisdom, is gaining insight, is looking at things from afar in order to be able to make wise decisions and different things. So that's what the Hermit's really all about. So as far as right now goes, I'm not really picking up too much as far as, really this close-knit relationship in the near term, in the near future and all. And this kind of, but we're thinking in that direction. And these kind of things are happening over the course of the next 5 months. So that's kind of where we're at with it. So now let's shift gears to the next third of the reading. And that's to really focus us in right now on what's going on with this here Eight of Cups. Is kind of letting other people kind of be on their own, do their kind of thing, while we kind of step outside of our everyday life to do other things. Where is it that's going to kind of more or less take us? So we have this here, Six of Pentacles. And Pentacles represent money, but it also represents material life. And in this particular case, we see someone that's a little bit more fortunate than other people. And this person is actually giving charity away to these other two individuals. Now, if you look at both of these people in the picture, notice that everyone's smiling. The person giving the money that's being charitable is freely giving the money. And then the people that are taking the money are glad to be taking the money. They're glad to be able to, get some kind of resource so that they can, survive, and so that they can get food, and so they can take care of their needs as well. So it's this give and take in this picture, but both people are very happy. It's happy to be giving, it's happy to be taking, and then there's that balance there. It says, well, we don't want to give too much because then we might find ourselves in need, and then we won't be really of service to others. And then the people that are taking says, well, we want to take some, but we don't want to overtake. We don't want to overstep our boundaries here, because this person, they're being very kind to us. And as long as we've got enough to take care of our needs, then we'll be happy as well. So it's about this balance, balancing act here. And that's what's going on with the relationships that we currently have and the direction that we want to go with relationships. We don't want to upset our current situation, but at the same time, we need balance in our life to be able to go it alone and to, scout out what it is that we're actually desiring, and let our higher self or our actions kind of dictate what those things will look like for us, so we can make some decisions that's more in tune and more in alignment with who we are. So though we may still take people's advice, and you might still look to friends and family members for certain things, a lot of this right now with where you're at is really about, exploring things on your own, this going it alone kind of approach, but at the same time, still being very charitable, still helping others, still doing these kind of things. And, if you need some support yourself, still, freely taking that support and knowing that you've got people in your corner and stuff to be there for you, while at the same time you're there for them. So, but it's a balancing act. You can't just always give and always, consume yourself with the people that's in your life currently. Sometimes you have to step outside your situation and also entertain other possibilities or other ideas for yourself. So that's kind of what's going on with that current situation. Now let's go ahead and shift gears for just a moment and find out for Jo exactly what she is kind of going through, like kind of what her, what she's feeling, or really where the attitude is, kind of with where she's at. So that takes us over to the 10 of Wands. Okay, so this is a lot of action. So 10s is where we're kind of like getting to the end of the road as far as this journey of action and things. So it's kind of more on that end of the spectrum. And wands are all about action. And if you look at this, it's sort of this heavy load. This person's carrying a very heavy load. They have a ways to go before they get to their destination. Not too long. They've already taken most of the journey. If you've got 10, you got to stop and think that each number is an equal part along the way. So if 10 is the end, it means that really once we get to the 10, we're moving in that direction toward the end of the 10. So it's between 9 and 10 that we're at right here. So it's like you've gone about 90% of the way along the journey. You just got about 10 more percent to go. So with that being said, things have accumulated, things have, built up, as far as our desire, as far as our actions and different things. But now it's like last leg of the journey, and things are a little bit overwhelming for us, and it's like, kind of heavy. The energy is a little bit heavy. The desire is definitely there, but we haven't really seen the result yet. But we're about to see the result. We're about to get someplace, and that's what this card's really all about. It's about, having the tenacity to be able to hold out in order to get what we want. Having the faith, keeping it, being able to continue moving on in that journey. But at the same time, Jo is feeling some kind of like a burden, or some kind of a sense of, needing something more. And that feeling can be very exasperating. It can take a toll on us mentally and emotionally, and in many different ways. And so for that, this is really about kind of like, once you've gotten to this place kind of mentally and all, it's just really about like the lesson for this card is really just to continue keeping on. You're almost there. Things are working out for you. Keep your faith. Don't let things go. Don't give in. Don't throw down those sticks. When you're almost there, you've picked these up. It's been a long journey. Keep on keeping on is basically the name of the game with this. Okay, so now we've kind of more or less gone along the first 2/3 of this tarot card reading. We talked about the past, talked about the present, talked about the future. Excuse me. And then we talked about what's going on with the current situation. And we talked about the balance, trying to keep a balance between the things that are important to us now in our life and also the things that we're desiring or yearning for moving forward. We talked about also Joe's kind of where mindset is with everything right now. She's been on this journey. It's been taking a toll on her as of now, but you don't want to give up. You want to continue keeping on. It's sometimes easier said than done, but that's the advice that I can give. Excuse me, guys. So the next leg of the journey and all is really where we get to the outcome. And the outcome for this particular tarot card reading and all is this card, Temperance. So Temperance is about patience. So the whole lesson in this whole tarot card reading, if we go and look, boils down to this, Temperance. Temperance is about patience. Patience in order to get the most perfect result. So that's the thing to keep in mind with this card. It's the most perfect result. And the most perfect result would be the one that is the fulfillment of our utmost desire. Sometimes in life, we get mediocre results. What I mean by that is sometimes we settle. Sometimes we, certain relationships will enter our life, and at the time they seem, oh, this is really great, and blah, blah, blah. But what Joe's really wanting is a certain standard. She's wanting like the best end result for herself. What that is. In order to get that, though, we have to be very patient. That's what this angel's really all about. If you look, she's got 2 cups in her hand, and she's kind of mixing a concoction there. And the concoction that she's mixing is for the purpose of getting the absolute best taste possible. So in order to get the best taste possible, it takes a lot of taste testing, but it also takes a lot of patience in order to get it right. But once you finally get it right and you get that ideal mix, that ideal blend, there's nothing like it. I mean, it's like it was like totally worth holding out for. And that's what this is really all about. So if we go back and we look just at this tarot card reading in general, we start off kind of looking at this thing with the Knight of Cups. And the Knight of Cups was just really this movement toward relationships. And that's where the past was kind of at. It's where we kind of get the desire to kind of move forward with relationships or kind of start entertaining the idea of having someone else, a partner, or someone like that in our life. Then we moved on and we had the 8 of Cups come up in terms of the present moment. The 8 of Cups is like where we have all these relationships, these people that we care about. It could be friends, family, and so on and so forth. It could even be past love relationships, romantic relationships, or even just the connections that we've had with others. But this card, this 8, is really about moving a little bit beyond that. Oh, hi, Rupali, kind of. Thanks for joining in. Oh, yeah, please ask a question, sure. So let me just finish up here with Joe's reading real quick. So we have the Hermit card then as far as our future, and we said that was about 5 months out. And for this 5-month period out with the Hermit, it's really about this energy of, being patient, having to kind of learn things along the way, figure out what it is that we most desire, what would be the best, relationship for us. Okay, Rupali, we'll answer that. Just a short minute for you. And so that's kind of like we're leading into this idea of patience. So then the next phase of our journey here in terms of this reading was we got the Balance card, and the Balance card was just really it was a 6 of Pentacles. It's balanced because we have kind of an equal number of coins on one side and an equal number of coins on the other side. But what we're really talking about with that is, giving and taking. There has to be kind of like a balance there. You can't take too much from someone or they'll resent you for it. You can't give too much to someone or you'll resent yourself for giving too much. So you have to be a little bit of balance. If you give in the right proportion, everybody's happy. So then we had we had this 10 of wands. Wands are about action. So it's taking massive action in order to finally get what it is that you're truly desiring. But you have to be patient in order to make that happen. You've done this for so long, but now it's really about, not giving up so quickly, but just kind of hanging in there. The last leg of the journey is here. Enjoy the journey while you can. Try to make the best of it. It will take a little bit of time, but things will work out if you'll have a little bit of patience with that. And then we talk about the outcome. Again, we're going back to this whole idea of patience, not being in too big of a hurry, not just settling, but coming up with the exact thing that we're looking for, the exact thing that we're really wanting, and what that person might be like. And how do we get all of this to work out for ourselves? How do we get the end result and materialize the soulmate or the twin flame or the ideal mate into our life? How do we actually materialize it? How do we get there? Well, the answer card is the final card in this tarot card reading, and it is the Four of Wands. Now, if you look at this card, it's a pretty nice card because it's all about celebration. The Four of Wands is really symbolic of almost like stability, where things have, are in a good situation for us. Sometimes in relationships, people jump too quickly and they get themselves in situations and all that are unstable. When that happens, you may have fun for a minute. You may have a great romantic episode or so, but just like in the movies or just like in television, if you jump in too quickly to something and all, you might find yourself out of a job pretty quickly. So in this, it's sort of like, because we're keeping patient, we're letting things come into our life, harmoniously and in the right way, keeping that balance and allowing ourselves to kind of go it alone for a period of time, for say like the next 5 months. In time, what we end up getting is exactly what we want. We find that perfect person to associate ourselves with, and then everything turns out really nicely for us. We have a good, stable relationship, one that's long lasting, one that's going to hold the test of time. And that's it. That's what we really want. And that's what Joe's after. And that's what this is really all about. So in terms of like a timeline, it's going to be a short period of time after kind of this 5-month mark. In 5 months from now on, we'll still kind of be on this patience thing, but we will have garnered some insight and stuff in terms of what we want. You will have met some people. I don't mean just one person, but several people that could be quote unquote Mr. Right or Miss Right or whatever. But it takes a little bit of time to be able to kind of, filter out those that would not work for you and those that will work for you. So I'm picking up about 7 to 8 months down the line and all. By that time, you should be in a pretty good position and all. And that's when this card actually really starts to come into play for you. That's when the relationship starts to happen. The stable relationship starts to play out. So you're looking at about 7 months out. So where would that put us? Like right now, we're getting to the tail end of August. So we'll just say, assumably, September, October, November, December, January, February, March. So you're looking at about March of next year. And so March of next year, February to March of next year and all. And it could even be that I'm picking up that you're going to take some kind of a trip. And it could be on that journey, that trip, that you actually start to really make more sense of things. Like you're going to really get the solution or the answer that you're looking for. And from that point, you will not entertain the idea of being with anyone else other than this one particular person. And probably by summertime of next year, probably, I don't think it's going to be quite a year from now, but maybe June or July, it could very well be a possibility that you could even find yourself being proposed to, or entertaining this idea of marriage, something along those lines. So we'll have to kind of wait and see. It's a little bit too far out for me to really get total clarity on it, but I do see that there's going to be more of a commitment made, a deeper commitment, almost like a life kind of partnership type commitment. But it could just be that this person is proposing to you, or that you're getting something along those lines coming in. So, Joe, I hope that helps you. Of course, you're always welcome to reach out to me. As your tarot coach, I'm always here for you. So let's move and jump ship for just a moment over to Rupali. So Rupali's in the chat. Rupali's asking this question, is my colleague... Oh, yeah, Rupali, I was actually reading at that time for Joe. Joe is someone that had asked for a reading. But for you, you're asking, is your colleague developing feelings for you? And then what exactly are the intentions that this person feels towards you? So let's look at that. So let's consider this. So for this, because it's in the chat, we're just going to do a 3-card reading, and I can just kind of put some perspective into things for you right away. Since this is sort of a yes or no question, it's easier to do it this way. And also, I do tend to pick up quite a bit of information just from these 3 cards that can really give us some insight into this person and really what they are feeling towards you. So first of all, let's answer the question, is the colleague actually developing feelings for Rupali? So the first card that we have is the Page of Pentacles. Pages are about money or material life, that kind of thing. And pages are really messengers. So they bring us kind of a message about work or material life, something along those lines. So this is a coworker or colleague, so we're definitely talking about a work situation in this particular case and all. And so in this case, because of the yellow and everything in the card, and because of the Page of Pentacles and the message that it's bringing, this would indicate a yes. So it's best out of 3 here. So what else do we have? So the next card that we have is the Page of Swords. And we talked about pages just a second ago. We said that pages are messengers, kind of a youthful energy, but very psychic kind of energy that comes from pages. So they're somewhat intuitive. They pick up on things just kind of empathically. Page of Swords is really about kind of ideas or thinking and things in the head. It's to do with thoughts. So, and we're talking about this person here. So again, it's a page. The answer again is yes. So, yep. So Rupali is just saying, guys, that this person finds reasons to talk to her a lot, and wants to know, why exactly. So this person is entertaining thoughts about you. So they're thinking about you. There's an attraction there, and that's a lot of the reasons for that. As far as the why so goes, there's an attraction there, and it's a lot of it's in the head. Like sometimes when you meet someone, you don't fully know that person, but you start to just through interactions with that person, through their vibration or their frequency, their energy. Right. So Rupali says, I'm not really opening up though, because I'm not really sure of his intentions. Well, it's interesting because like with this, the intentions are really kind of in the head. So things sort of, if you kind of look at this progression of the way that things sort of go with relationships in terms of how we make sense of things, or how we become attached to someone, or how we actually build relationship with someone, a lot of it is, interestingly enough, and I find this very fascinating. Oftentimes people are in their head about someone. We form sort of, it's almost like these pseudo opinions about people. Like they're not really founded based on actual truth, but it could be through an attraction or or something that is attractive to us. And so we try to get someone to fit into our narrative of the way that they should be or who they should be. And so I'm kind of picking that up here as sort of like what he's actually feeling about you is not necessarily grounded in who you actually are. And that makes sense because you haven't really opened up enough to really give him a lot of insight as far as that goes. But in his mind, he is kind of forming these mental pictures in his head about who you are, or some concept, a construct basically of who you are. And that's what this person is actually developing in their mind. So are they becoming more and more attracted to you, attached to you? Yeah, they are. And a lot of it, unfortunately, is just not based on who you actually are, but who they think or perceive you to be. And the perception can be very different than the actuality, if that makes sense. So in order to really be able to understand you, or to really, see if this is going to be something that would pan out, if you're even interested in learning more, it would be basically you would need to open up more to this person and let them kind of see more of who you actually are versus who they think you are. But this is a yes, this person is attached or interested in you. Now let's go to the last card. And the last card is the King of Cups. Cups are all about relationships. King. This is a very interesting card. Kings are really about authority. So it's sort of authority over relationships. And in this particular case, you notice this king is on water, but they're pretty fixed on water. You got the water and the waves and stuff here, and you got his throne and everything. He's on the water. Water is really about the unconscious. It's really a psychic kind of energy. It's about feelings and emotions and all the things that go along with that. Having control of one's emotions, or having control or authority over our thoughts and our ideas and but things mainly pertaining to relationships and all the things that go along with that, really do start to kind of make a role. So, okay, so Rupali says, we talk a lot, but we don't talk in romantic sense. He tries to be sweet and flirtatious. Of course, Rupali doesn't respond since she's not really sure. And Rupali also says, we get along very well because of this being good friends kind of thing. So, to answer the question, the original question was sort of like, Vika, thanks for joining the chat. Yeah, I'll answer your question in just a second here. If you'll just be patient, it's like 2 minutes here, and we'll definitely answer your question for you. No worries. So what I'm picking up, Rupali, with this reading for you is that, yeah, thanks. Is basically that, yeah, he does have feelings, or he wants to get to know you better and stuff. But unfortunately right now, because you haven't really opened up enough to him, and shared yourself more intimately or personally. And by intimate, I don't mean physically. I mean just intimate in terms of the way that you share information openly. Sometimes we are more reserved, especially in the beginnings of a relationship when we're not really sure of someone's intentions. We kind of hold back or withdraw. But what happens a lot of times during that type of situation, and this isn't necessarily true with every single person, but I am picking up that it is sort of true with this person, is that they're kind of formulating in their mind a narrative about who you are. And it's sort of not really based in reality. They're not just taking you for what you see is what you get. It's more along the lines of they're kind of creating this here, I don't want to say fictitious, but in a sense it is sort of fictitious kind of version of who you are. So, no, I do see him sincere towards you. I think that he does, care about you, or would like to get to know you better. But, here's what I would advise, if I was going to give you some direction on this. I would be a little bit more open with the person and let them really kind of see more of who you truly are, instead of them trying to make up in their mind who you are, because they don't have enough information about you. Well, fictitious, yeah, fictitious towards you in a positive way. See, what they're doing is they have a certain idea of what they're looking for, this person, this coworker of yours. Yeah, no, he sees you in a positive way, but you see what happens is, okay, so I'll take a step back here for just a moment. So it's basically like this. let's say you went out tomorrow and you met someone. Let's put yourself in his situation, and that will give you a kind of a better idea of this. So like, let's say, for example, like you went out tomorrow and you met someone, and this person's a little bit reserved. They're not really sharing a lot of information, but maybe there's an attraction there. Maybe this person would be more, they seem very nice, very polite, but they never really give you too much information. They don't really share too much about themselves. They don't really share their beliefs with you. They don't really open up to you about their family life. They don't really, get too personal with you, but they're always very nice. And for that, you really like this person. You're attracted to this person. You want to get to know them better. But in the meantime, because of that, you have certain ideas about what it is you're looking for. And these are very natural. It's based on, this person's attractive. This person seems on the surface to be a very nice person. But now you're going to start to overthink it. Like now that you're becoming more and more attracted to this person, you're kind of like, yeah, this person has my values. And now you're assuming that they have your values because they're nice to you. You're assuming that they want the same things out of life that you want. And in reality, you don't really know that. But now you're starting to kind of formulate that, this person obviously came into my life for a reason. And so we're making these assumptions about things, but they're not really founded in reality. But yet you're becoming more and more intertwined with this person because now you're starting to make them sort of fit the narrative, if that makes sense. So he's kind of doing the same thing towards you now. Now, it hasn't really escalated into anything too crazy or too deep or anything. But at the same time, I think if you just say, kind of let him get this fictitious picture out of his head, and the way to do that would be to be more open with him and just to kind of share more about your situation and, your life, and to just kind of open up. But also to start asking him some questions, and then you can get a better understanding of what his intentions are. Ask him, in a very nice way, more personal type questions, and you can do that by just asking general questions. And then from the answers that you receive, ask a little bit more personal, a little bit more personal. It's sort of like peeling back the skin of an onion. In order to get to really the meat of the onion, you have to take off those outer layers, and then you really start to get to the core of the person and who they are. So if you do that with him to kind of get to know him better, it will also open up and pave this way for you to be able to share information with him in a way that's comfortable enough for you to do that, because now you'll feel like the relationship is becoming a little bit more personal. And that's how relationships are really formed, So anyways, I hope that helps you out a little bit. No, I don't really sense that he's really a player. I think that, he's got a positive opinion about you. I think he has a pretty positive feeling towards your nature. Like he's just picking up good energy from you. Like I kind of see it as sort of light, like not really serious, but kind of a light kind of nature. But it's one that could, blossom into something a little bit more serious here later on. Yeah. So I hope that kind of helps, like as far as the nature. He sees you as kind of like, I don't want to say mysterious, but kind of like youthful and also sort of like fun, like kind of like a youthful kind of fun energy, something that's exciting. Like you're exciting to this person. I'm kind of picking up that kind of energy. He's developing feelings for you and all, but the best way, like I said, feelings, come about over time, but they can happen really quickly if we're not like clued in on something. So, I think, if you want him to really get a true sense of who you are, so it's more like surface talk, but from that surface flirtatious, it's like it's the first part of a relationship. But in order to take the relationship deeper, you have to build trust. And the way to do that is through conversation, getting to know that person. I mean, you might get to talking to this person on a more serious note, and maybe that person's, their ideology, their views, their everything about this person, you may not like it at all. I mean, it may be fun on a day-to-day level, connecting with this person. You may even find them attractive on the outside and that, but once you actually get to the core of this person, they may not be somebody that interests you at all. And you may just totally not want to be with that person. I don't really pick up that that would be the case. I think if you guys do talk, I do kind of get the sense that it would develop into something more serious for you guys, and that it could be something. Okay, so Rupali's asking, I meant to ask if he is developing feelings for me. I want to be careful if it's yes. Yeah, he is developing feelings for you. But again, if you're holding back, he's not going to really step over that line and really maybe ask you out or take you on a date or whatever people do these days. He's not really going to cross that line until he feels secure enough to do that. So if you're holding back, then probably he's not going to take it too deeply. But you have to understand, if you do kind of keep withdrawn and not really opening up to him, it's very possible that he's going to maybe become attached, or someone else is going to he'll fancy, and then that person, he might even start to do the same kind of thing. So it's sort of a no, he's sincere. No, I'm not picking up that he's a player and stuff like that, No, I can understand, like you never really know a person, but the only way to really get to know someone is actually to engage them, So if you hold back, he may find someone else to be attracted to also, because he might just feel like, well, maybe she doesn't really like me or something, But it's a kind of like a safety mechanism. It's sort of, people do this sort of it's a psychological kind of thing that happens. Well, here's the thing, like as far as playing the field, I don't see him as just one of these kind of guys that's out there trying to meet everybody out there. He may be an attractive person. He may find other people attractive. And, if you have that kind of, at that time in your life, you're kind of out there trying to get to know people, trying to find out who the right person is for you eventually. And so he may want to talk to other people and do things like that. But intuitively, I could tell you honestly that, I think he does kind of have more feelings towards you than anyone else. But again, like if you don't open up, then he's not really going to. Well, no, I mean, but, I get what you're saying. So we're probably saying, guys, as of now, I doubt if he's actually talking to me only. And here's the thing, like when you're young and stuff, you may talk to different people, but it could be in a very nice way. It doesn't mean that you're out there trying to just, court someone and all that kind of stuff, or you're trying to get a hot and heavy, serious relationship. Relationships take a little bit of time. But when you find that person that you're really attracted to, that person shares the same kind of inner values, deeper values with you, in time, that relationship could really turn into something a little bit more serious, But for now, you can just enjoy the relationship for what it is. If he's talking to other people and stuff like that, then that's fine. You're not in a very serious relationship yet. So, it's fair enough that he could be talking to some other people and stuff, but in a nice way, or just in a friendly way, in a friendly manner, So that's kind of, people want to meet other people and stuff, especially younger people and stuff. They want to get out there and kind of get to know people and, see what's all out there and stuff like that, so they can figure things out. When you're younger, you don't really always know exactly what it is you want anyway. So, you might experiment a little bit, get to know some different types of people, and from that be able to make a more informed decision a little bit later on. But in the beginning, like if you just kind of open up and start to talk to this person a little bit, let your guard down a little bit. I don't mean you don't have to take it so seriously that, you guys are going on romantic dates and all this kind of thing tomorrow, but you could just kind of just be more friendly and open and maybe agree to talk on the phone or chat or text or, whatever young people do these days. No, I don't think he's talking to other people with exactly the same kind of energy that he is talking to you. He may have had a girlfriend in the past or something like that he cared about. And I'm kind of picking up that maybe that affected him emotionally on some level, but so he may be a little bit reserved. Even if you do start to open up to him a little bit, he may be a little bit reserved in that, but I'm not picking up that he's a bad person at all. I get kind of a positive energy around him. So, okay, so there we go. So she says, yes, he did break up. He broke up. So, it could be something along those lines, but, there's feelings and stuff maybe still there, but, from the past relationship, but it's more he's getting over that kind of thing. No, he's not seeing you as a rebound. I think he genuinely likes you as a person. I see him kind of feeling you on that end. So, guys, we got several people in the chat. So let me back up for just Rupali. I hope that really helps you. So Vika was asking a question a minute ago, and I want to go back to that for just a second here, if we can find it. Yeah. So Vika wanted to know, can I ask if you see me and my family making a big move soon? So yeah, let's do another reading on that for Vika. And then if we have anybody else that needs a reading or something, we can move in that direction. I've seen a couple of people maybe asking questions on that, maybe Angel. And so if that's the case, maybe we can kind of ask that. Guys, it is approaching 8 o'clock though. I do have another meeting at 8 o'clock that I have to attend to here in about 10 minutes. So we'll try to just kind of move this along and kind of make it a little bit quick. For most of you guys that watch the channel, you know that I'm a monk, and that this is one of the services that I do. So if you guys haven't already subscribed to the channel, please consider doing that. Whenever we come on, if you have questions or something, you're always free to ask. In the description below this video will also be all my contact information and everything. If you want to connect, if you need like spiritual direction or anything like that, we offer that too. Tarot coaching and everything as well for you. So just kind of be aware of those things that we offer. And please consider subscribing if you haven't already. Hit the bell notification, then when we come on, you can get to these. And we do these all the time for people. So, okay, so Vika, let's go ahead and figure this out about the move. So the first card that we have, Vika, is the World card here. Now, the World is really about the finishing off of a journey. So we've come a long way. We've learned a lot of things. We've gained a lot of insight, knowledge, perspective, all these kind of things. And we've learned a lot of life lessons. And the World is really about coming more full circle. So it's coming back to kind of our roots, to the beginning of things, where we started, but coming back in a way that is where we're changed. We see this happen a lot with like stories. Like if you think of like just any of these, basic premises of movies where you have this heroine or main character, the hero or heroine, and they're going along this journey, and in the beginning they really don't know a lot, and they're kind of like unsuspecting of things, and so they go through some trials, some tribulations, some upheaval, some positive experiences, some negative experience, so on and so forth. And then there's this climax of like where it's really challenging for them, and they have to kind of make some life decisions, some life choices. Which direction are they going to go into? Are they going to go back to the past? Are they going to move forward with the future? What is it that they really want? And so they make that decision and they move forward, and then finally all of this comes full circle for them. And then, they go back to where they came from and they connect with the past. And once they do that, they realize, once they do, just how much they have changed, how much they have learned about themselves, all these kind of things. And that's what the World is really all about. It's coming to terms with things. And so as far as a big move goes, it's almost like a move back is what I'm picking up with this card. It's almost like, you've already made a series of different changes over time. This could be where you're actually revisiting something that you've been to before, but doing it through some different lenses. In other words, a different perspective on things. The next card that we have is the Knight of Wands. So Knights are all about movement and moving things forward. Wands are all about action. So in this case, it's sort of like, Wands are really this fiery sign. It's kind of like a Leo sign in like astrology. And the same thing with the Knights themselves. It's sort of this fiery energy. So you're having a double dose of action here. So as far as, having some new experiences and moving things forward and all, yeah, so that's a big yes on that one. So both of these are yeses, by the way. And then finally, we have the Page of Wands. And as we know from the previous reading and stuff like that, pages are really messengers, the youthful energy and stuff like that. But again, we have the Wands, which is, again, fiery energy. So another big fat yes. So are you guys going to be making some major changes here in the near future? Absolutely you will. And some of it will involve the past. In other words, things that you've done before. So it could even be like almost like let's see, it's sort of like, maybe it could be like it would almost be like if you had a job. Let me just use this as sort of an example. Like if you had a job and you were working for a company and things were really good and you did that for a number of years, and then you move on to another company, you jump ship. And maybe you jump ship again and you're making more money, you're learning new things, you're doing more things. And then all of a sudden that one company called you back and said, hey, look, we really could use you. Would you, if we give you enough money, if we pay for your move, if we give you retirement, if we take care of you, would you consider coming back in this new position, working for us again? And of course, the answer might be yes. So then that person would come back to that. And that would be the case. So that's kind of like what energy I'm sort of picking up here is sort of like the big move will actually be a move in a different context, but to something from the past. It could be even if you're moving like in a physical location, it could be like you're moving back into a place you've lived before, but it'll be a changed kind of a scenario. It won't be in the same way that you had lived there before. So there may be okay, so Vika is saying, yes, makes sense. We are wanting to move a state. We previously lived in a home, but are now living with my parents. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, good. So okay, good deal. So that's kind of the energy that I'm picking up there, so it's like you could just, yeah. So I'm seeing that things could be like, I think it will be a really positive move though. Like I'm picking up more money and like more opportunity and things, but then also the comfort of having been in a place that you've been before. So it's going to be kind of like, it will bring with it like, oh, I'm getting chill bumps now. Like it's like this here comforting situation. It's like you're going to feel very, very comfortable with this new position, this new situation. You're going to feel very, very comfortable with it. However, and it's going to make a lot of sense, and it's going to be a good move. So I hope that helps you. Okay, guys, so and let's just go because we're at 7:56 in the morning here, Eastern Standard Time here in Michigan. Yep, you're welcome, Vika. No problem. Glad that makes sense. So let's go over here. So, okay, so Beatrice Morello in the chat was asking, what is Jackson thinking about us? Okay, let's find out. So we'll do another quick reading here. Because I seldom do these readings so early. Sure, Tinfax, if you want to ask a question, you can, and I will try my best to answer it. Unfortunately, I got a meeting I got to attend here pretty soon. Oh, I'm sorry, Angel. Yes, of course, I will get to you, I promise. So let me do this real quick. Since I'm already kind of concentrating and stuff like that, and I've already sort of, with Beatrice, as far as Jackson, this is going to be a quick one. I'm already kind of picking it up. So I'll do that. And then Angel, I'll jump to you. And then after that, I'll go to Tinfax. And then we should be pretty good. But I'm not going to shortchange you or discount anything. So we'll ask. Yeah, no problem. Okay, perfect. Okay, so Beatrice, let's find out what Jackson thinks. All right, so first card we got is a 5 of Pentacles. Pentacles, like when you see this card, I mean, it says something right there, kind of out in the cold, kind of unfortunate sort of circumstances. 5's all about change. We have the Knight of Wands. Knights are about energy and action. Of course, we have the Wands there. This was like in the previous reading and stuff as well. This is really fiery energy, so double dose of action. And then finally, we have the 3 of Pentacles. Again, more about money. And this is about teaching something. It's sort of like showing that, this is really a tradesperson. This person knows exactly what they're doing. And other people are kind of look at them with sort of, kind of this, student-like perspective. They're looking at them sort of in awe, like, wow, this person really has a great gift. It's almost like if you ever see a magician on stage or something like that, and you see them performing these magic tricks and different things like that, and they're doing such a nice job with it. You just can't. You're like, wow, that person's really cool. It's like if you've seen like America's Got Talent or some of those shows, you're like, wow, that, and that's kind of what this card the energy that I pick up from this card, at least in this particular reading. But this is like sort of that kind of seeing things like in terms of like rose-colored glasses, or you're kind of like in awe of something. So I kind of pick up as far as Jackson is concerned, it's sort of like sees kind of the situation as far as like seeing things in awe. And then it's really about trying to take action and things. Unfortunately, Jackson's not exactly, he's trying to make changes and stuff for the better and stuff like that. But in doing so and all, sometimes you have to take a few steps back in order to be able to move forward. And so that's kind of where Jackson's at with things right now. So trying to, but the wherewithal is there. And if you've ever been successful once and then you've fallen kind of on your luck, and that happens to everybody, all successful people probably have been there, done that a time or two. But if you've ever fallen down on your luck, which is kind of where Jackson is right now, you can always pick yourself back up again. You can always get back on the horse and start riding off, but it might take you a little bit of time to get there. And right now, sometimes change takes us in different directions and all in order to explore other avenues. And that's kind of what's going on with Jackson at the moment and all. So he's taking action to learn some skills and to get some things moving forward and stuff. So anyways, as far as kind of what he's thinking, it's almost like there's a sense of awe. Like, Jackson is seeing you guys as like having it more together than what Jackson does. And not really being jealous, but just more of in awe of that. So that's kind of where the mindset for Jackson is. Okay, so that was pretty easy. Okay, so now Angel will go back to your question here. So let's just go back here. Okay, so Angel was saying, thanks for liking and subscribing. I want to ask spiritual guides what spiritual lesson I need to learn because my premature hair loss. Okay, got that. Let's go ahead and figure that one out. Sometimes I have to shuffle this a little bit longer. I intuitively kind of know when to stop shuffling. All right, so anyway, let's go ahead and do this. Okay, very nice. So the first card that we have is the Hermit. Hermit's sort of about, as the name kind of denotes, it's sort of isolation. Sometimes we have to step away from everyone and everything in order to kind of get an understanding of things. That's what the Hermit really understands. The Hermits, is sort of like, they're okay kind of in their own zone. They're okay kind of, trying to learn about things and trying to get some understanding about things. And, if you're watching, you're learning, if you're engaging people and talking to people and stuff, you're also learning, but it's a little bit different. If you're kind of the observer, kind of stepping back from the situation at all and kind of being the onlooker, then you kind of have a different perspective, sort of a meta perspective where you're the person, you're kind of watching things unfold in front of you, but from a distance. So you're not directly involved with things. The next card we have is the Magician. And the Magician, of course, is pretty much, we just had this really nice talk about a magician up on stage. So it's kind of ironic that the Magician card would be coming up. But in more serious terms, the Magician represents all kind of resources and everything at your disposal. You see, you have to understand, like with the tarot, we have these overarching themes of things that kind of represent or make up who and what we are, and they're very general, and they're done that way intentionally. So, for example, relationships, there's all kinds of different types of relationships, and different people have different thoughts and perspectives on relationships. Same thing with like the coins, like material success can mean different things for different people, right? And then of course the wands, like taking action. Some people are more adept at taking action than others. Some people taking action is doing very little. Some people taking action is doing quite a lot. And then of course swords are, some people are very much in their head, they formulate ideas and things like that, like in their mind, before they ever get out there or decide to take action or have emotions or thoughts about things like in a different way, that kind of perspective. You also have infinity, which is really about soulmates, lifelong kind of things, eternal kind of values and those kind of situations and all. So this is a very resource-oriented card, Angel. So this is having everything at your disposal and that you have everything you need is basically what this card is saying. So even though you may be stepped back at the current moment, you really have everything that you need. So the hair loss and stuff like that, you don't have to really worry too much about that. No 10 facts. I'll get to you in just a moment, I promise. And then finally, the last card that we have in all, we have the Five of Cups. Five is about change in numerology and all. Some cups are down, some cups are up. Sometimes we're up, sometimes we're down. We have the water there, which is about emotion. It's also very psychic kind of energy and things. And, kind of head down, kind of looking away, that kind of thing. So there's sort of that energy there. So there's a lot of thought, a lot of thought, and it's about relationships and different things like that. Who is my true friends? Who are not my true friends? Who's the person that I should be with? Who's the person that I should not be with? So we have a lot of those kind of things. So as far as like spiritual lessons go, what do we really need to learn from things? The biggest lesson for you, Angel, is this. You need to be aware that, all that you need, you already have. So whatever it is you're trying to achieve, whatever it is that you desire, it's yours already. And the reason it's yours already is because you have everything you need right now in order to make it happen, in order to bring it about. And that's the biggest lesson, like with this particular spread. Sometimes it's okay to be inward, self-reflecting. That's kind of where you're at right now. But at the end of the day, you can be selective about what it is that you want. Selective about the relationships that you have in your life, selective about the jobs and the careers and the opportunities and stuff that you have. And because you can be selective, it tells us right there, hey, I have the resources to be selective. Now, sometimes we feel like we don't have any choice. Sometimes we feel like we don't have any opportunities, or that we're at a loss, and that we have to kind of climb our way out of a hole. And when you feel that way, it's sort of like, I got to take baby steps to get back on track, or to get to where I need to be, or to be able to do this or to do that. But in this particular case, that's not the case. You don't have to really have that kind of a thinking or that kind of a mentality. You already got the resources and everything like that. You can make big moves now, and things will work out and be very nice for you. So I hope that helps you, Angel. And as far as hair loss goes, it could actually be advantageous, for you in many ways. So it doesn't have to be like that. Okay, so 10 facts. Let's move on. And guys, and then after that, I really got to get going. It's like 8:08 already. I said 8, but I always lose track of time. So yeah, you are very, very welcome, Angel. Much love also. All right, so 10 facts. So 10 facts just wants to know, does this person whose name starts with the letter S love me? Let's find out. All right, so shuffle those. Well, the answer is yes. So anyway, the first card that we get in all is the Six of Pentacles. This is a charity card. There's the giving and the taking. It's a balancing act. Sometimes we give, sometimes we take, but we don't want to give too much and not take enough, and we don't want to take too much and not give enough. So there has to be sort of that balance of energy there. And sometimes what we take is different than what we give, but the person that we're giving to, whatever it is we're giving them, they need, and then whatever they're giving us, we need. And that's really what's going on with UNS. So the next card that we have is this is a really good card. This is our Nine of Pentacles. So this is sometimes people call this the Nine of Coins. This card here is a good card. This is sort of like financial prosperity and stuff. There's that kind of thing there. But this is also the kind of card where, like, if you need to take a day off work, or if you need to go on a romantic getaway or something like that, you're probably in a pretty good situation to be able to make that happen. You don't have to really worry so much day to day about your needs being met. You can start to focus more on the things that you desire and kind of more in that kind of a direction and all. So that's sort of the energy that's coming out of this, with regard to does this person love you and stuff like that? Yeah, the person does definitely love you. This is a good card for that. And then finally, the last card that we have is the Two of Cups. Cups, we're going back to this whole idea of balance. Of course, if you look at this, we have the two snakes, we have the two cups, we have the two people, we have the two wings, we have the number 2. Okay, Prakriti, yeah, we'll ask, just because I like your name so much, we'll ask. We'll do your question also, no worries, but give me just a second here. So anyway, so finishing up here at 10 facts. So everything is about balance and all. So as far as liking you and everything, or loving you, rather, it is because this person feels a sense of balance with you, a sense of unity. So balance creates unity, it creates connection. And so there's definitely that connection there. 2 is about, and cups are about relationships. So yeah, this person loves you and feels for you as far as that goes. So it's really about balance and stuff, but it's really good positive energy I'm picking up. So a very loving kind of energy, but it's more also, it's loving, but it's also really about practicalities also. There's the practical sense in things and keeping things balanced. So if you find that maybe sometimes there's not always that reciprocation, like if you don't feel a sense of reciprocation, it's because this person is very, it's like a Libra type of energy. It's sort of like the scales of balance, trying to keep things very, very balanced. Not overextend themselves, not give too much, not take too much, that kind of energy. So that's kind of what you get with this type of a relationship. So I hope that helps you. Okay, so Prakriti. Prakriti is a Sanskrit name for nature. Hey, yep, you got it. Yep, Prakriti is just confirming that. Yes, nature. So Prakriti means nature. So Prakriti wants to know what H is feeling towards her. And so let's find that out. Wow. So yeah, so this is another yes, just like before. So I just like to tell you guys that get that out of the way. So, but there's some little catches here. So let's not jump the gun too much. Yep. Guys, for you guys that haven't watched this channel that are still tuning in, so I'm actually a monk, and we study Sanskrit and all kinds of stuff. But let's find out what H thinks about you. So the first thing is the Page of Pentacles is the first cup that comes up. This is about materialization, like materiality. It's also about so it's a pages are messengers. They talk about, in this particular case, more youthful energy. This particular page is bringing us a message about money and finance and security, all the things that material. It's like a really Capricorn kind of energy. It's sort of like that, doing certain things in a certain way to get a certain result and building a strong foundation and all these kind of things. That's where the material really is about. But it's also could be about just natural attraction. And in this case, that's what the card is really indicating. Since we're talking about like, what does this person feel? So it's sort of like attraction. When we see something pretty, if we see a diamond, or we see a nice piece of jewelry, whatever the case is, we might be instantly drawn to that. It could be a pretty face. It could be anything. It could be curtains. It could be anything. It could be a pair of glasses, and you might be instantly drawn to that. So attraction, material attraction comes to us, just through our five senses. And when we're seeing something or experiencing something or touching something or hearing something, whatever, that creates sort of this attraction, and we become attracted to it. So in this case, this person H is attracted to you. Next, though, we have this, the Hierophant. And again, this is a 5, and in numerology, 5 is about change. But the Hierophant card is really about tradition and culture and all. So it's almost like a lesson in that. So if someone shares our values, and values are sort of the things that, if you go back in time and you look at your upbringing, your childhood, these kind of things, they give us meaning in our life, and they make us who we are. So they kind of define us. It's our culture. It's our family values. It's our family, all of these kind of things make us up who we are. And at the end of the day, it kind of gets into our identity and who and what we are. In marketing, in the world of marketing and all, there's some great debate actually over this whole idea of identity. And if we can tap into if we can understand someone's core root, the root of who they are, their identity, we can formulate marketing messages to more persuade them or attract them and that kind of thing in order to get them to buy and kind of relate our product with their core identity and get them on a kind of an unconscious level. So it's little marketing trickery or whatever, and all this stuff, whatever you want to call it. But anyway, that's not the point. The point is in this, the Hierophant is really symbolic of that, our values, like where we come from, that kind of thing. And so if we're finding someone that has similar values as us, that has sort of the same makeup mentally, spiritually, all these kind of things, if those things are connected or tied together and all, it's usually a pretty good thing for us. So and you also have stability with that as well. You have the pillars here. Pillars are about stability, and who we are, knowing ourselves really well and knowing the other person really well and them knowing us really well is really kind of that crucial element for a relationship lasting and being able to move forward. So again, yes, but connecting with someone kind of with our same kind of, same similar values doesn't mean they have everything in common with us per se, or that their values are exactly 100% on par with ours, but it just means that we have some kind of a connection with them in terms of that. It's not that they have completely radical worldviews than ours, so that's that. And the last card that we have is the Lovers. I don't know if I have to really go into too much detail about this. We're talking about does H have these feelings towards property, and that's what we really get with this. So yeah, there is those feelings of love and connection, a physical attraction, all these kind of things. Oh, thank you, Prakriti. And Prakriti says that's a beautiful reading. So yeah, we try. I can't always give great advice, you guys. I mean, I have to be honest when I'm doing these, so I can't just tell people what they want to hear, which sometimes people might get a little mad at me or something like that. But I try to be as honest and as truthful as I can. It's for me, guys, I've been getting this since I was a little kid, and it's really about energy and picking up different types of energy. And because I've had such an association with different types of energies throughout my lifetime, I can really connect with that energy and give more perspective on it. So it's a combination of like learned things just through my own personal experiences, and also just through the strengthening. For most of you guys that know my story, there was a kid. When I was a kid, I had my first psychic situation was, we had these people, my family and stuff. I grew up in India, by the way. We had these people that had these horses and stuff, and they had this car, this auto, and I just sensed that they were going to get in this car accident and burn up and die, and it was horrible. And especially from the culture that I came back from and stuff, it's sort of like we don't talk too negative, and you don't just kind of say these kind of things, kind of a traditional culture, traditional background. So at the time it was a little bit, but I went to my mom and told her the situation and my brother and stuff. And then about 2 weeks later, the event really unfolded. People were in an accident, burned up. It was horrible. But ever since then, just that intuition, whatever you want to call it, being psychic, whatever, has just increased over time. So, it's sort of the story behind it. Now as a monk, this is just one of the many different services that I perform for humanity and different things. So, yeah. So, if you like this kind of thing, there's a lot of things to be learned from the tarot anyway. Just life lessons and different things. So that's one of the things that's really attractive to me about it. But okay. So, is there any other questions? So, Lone Wolf wants to know what she thinks about me. Let me see if there's any more information there. I don't really see too much. So Lone Wolf, hold on a second. Lone Wolf, I may have missed a message or something from you at some point, but if you're still wanting a reading, we could do it. Still got time. Is there a particular person that you'd like to know about? Maybe just give the first initial or something like that if you want to protect this person's privacy, that kind of thing. If you're still with us, I'll give you a minute or so. Yep. Okay. Okay, great. So there is a particular person. Great. And can we just get like a first initial or something like that? If that's okay. Any insight you want to share is fine too. Okay, so it's an S. Okay, so let's find out. Find out what S thinks about you. Yeah. Her name's first word. Okay, all right. So let's find out for Lone Wolf what she thinks about. Yeah, so let's do that. So now I'm just kind of, as far as the process goes, I'm just kind of thinking about the question, feeding into the energy. And as I'm doing this, I can give you the insights into it. It's sort of like as I'm shuffling these cards and I'm kind of focusing in this direction and all, I'm thinking about this person's initial, and there's certain energy that's coming through. And the energy that's coming through and all, I'm picking this, it's sort of a warmer energy. So it's not really cold. So it's sort of picking up, so that's a positive, So when I'm differentiating things at first, it's sort of really general. It's not really super specific. The specificity comes, but it normally comes a little bit later on, in the reading as I'm doing the reading. So I'm starting to get pictures that are starting to kind of congeal together, come together, and all sort of like these fragments that come into play. Oh, wow. So Prakriti just says, it's weird how I'm waking up so early these past months, at between 3 and 4 exactly. So yeah, it's like Brahma Murti. It's that's what we monks do. We get up very, very early. So 3 o'clock. Yeah, it's a good time to meditate. It's the best time to meditate. Absolutely. Do some japa. Some meditation is really good. Okay, so S, thinking, picking up that, and now finally this. Okay. All right, so Lone Wolf, let's go ahead and put this out there. Okay, fantastic. So it's much less. They don't really need they can make a decision pretty quickly, but others, it takes them a little bit of time to get going with things. So like as far as like S goes and everything like that, S is wanting some stability and is willing to kind of hold out for stability. So that's kind of like what is going on in the backdrop of the mind as far as S is concerned, is sort of like that's kind of where her mind is and stuff. And you see this person, they're just kind of, there's three in front of this person and they're kind of bored, but they're just pausing and waiting. Like with this particular, and this does change per different readings and all. Like I won't tell you the same thing for every single reading, like what a card means, but like in this particular case, it's sort of this, I'm picking up this energy of just sort of like this person is sometimes, you know, they see that things are turning out pretty good, or they're getting a good vibe or a good feeling about things, but at the same time, they're still not quite there. They're holding out for complete stability. They want to get more of a for sure thing kind of with you. The next thing that we have is the star. And well, you know, maybe if you've ever heard that little song, I think it's like Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, how I wonder what you are up above the sky so high like a diamond in the sky. I wish I may, I wish I might have the wish I wish tonight. Something along those lines. And you guys forgive me, it's been many, many ages since I've heard that song. But anyway, stars are really about the guiding light, you know, in religion and history and stuff. You know, people like in different cultures and different things have looked up to this, the heavens, the stars, the firmament, whatever you want to call it, and looked at the stars for guidance, you know, in order to gain perspective. Or if you wanted to look up at the sky at night, you might wish on a star that, you know, your soulmate comes into your life, or that, you know, you get that perfect job, or that your family will be happy and wholesome and healthy and safe, you know, all these kind of things, whatever it is. You know, a lot of times, whatever our biggest fears are, you know, we sometimes have to look outside of our own instability in order to get some kind of a sense of stability. And that's what the stars are really all about. They're guiding light, you know, your true north. Like in biblical days, you know, the wise men, you know, looking up at the Star of David, you know, being led off into Bethlehem and what have you. This is sort of that kind of that energy, you know, it's like, it's to guide us. And that's, but stars are also about omens, and always, normally, more often than not, about positive, good omens. And so in this case, you know, with the relationship and everything with S, this is really about, you know, a really positive omen. So it's a positive energy. So this person is seeing that there's something to you that's going to help them in some capacity, or that you will enrich their life. They're kind of seeing you on a level, and they're intuitive about that. You know, it's a very intuitive card, the Sun, but it's a good card. Finally, we kind of get more of an answer, probably more in terms of like what you're really more or less wanting and all. And we have the Empress, and the Empress is, she's a consort or wife or girlfriend, whatever you want to call it, of the Emperor in the tarot. And she's the third, which is actually the fourth card in the major arcana. And this is real. Oftentimes when this card comes up, it's about pregnancy. It's about kind of a new, refreshing kind of energy and stuff like that. But the Empress is very nurturing. Just like the name Prakriti means nature, the Empress sort of is representative of like Mother Nature. And so it's very nurturing, you know, looking after people, helping people, you know, consoling people, protecting people. And so that's the kind of energy that you get with the Empress card. And so as far as like, kind of where this person is perceiving you at and stuff, and I'm trying to pick up really kind of where I'm going with this. So it's sort of like they get a good sense about who you are, and they feel good about you, and they feel like the stability is coming with you. And while they're waiting around for that stability to happen and everything like that, they're also consoling you, or trying to be a good partner for you, or good help to you, or help you out in some way, nurture you in some way. And by nurturing, it could just be with words. It could be in many different varieties, but it's kind of like that, kind of a motherly kind of way of being. It's sort of like, you know, a mother endlessly to the end of time loves their child, you know, and is always there for their child, you know. Even if they're not the best parent in the world, they still, in their heart, they have this kind of overwhelming, unconditional love. And that's what the Empress is really, you know, symbolizing here. But it could also be that maybe wants a family or something with you, or could want some kind of you know, longer term kind of thing. So more serious kind of thing. So yeah, so really the energy that I'm picking up here with this, like with this person S, is that they want something more than just a surface relationship with you. They want something more than just what you see is what you get. It's more of a kind of a deeper relationship, but more of a very, it's a relationship where this person wants to see things, you know, their life in a good way, stable. They want to be able to, and stability is like with children. You see that card come up with the Empress, and that's really, in order to really get that and to feel that, you want to know that, you know, you have a good foundation, and the way you have a good foundation is with stability. So like you want stability with your relationships, and that's what this person is really wanting from you, and that's what they're really trying to get. So I hope that helps. So Sunbla Kafour, hi. So yeah, Sunbla is asking a question. Can I ask how this week will be for me? Sure. Yeah, why not? I'm already probably missing my appointment now, so it doesn't matter. Why not do another reading? You're welcome, Lone Wolf. Absolutely. So Sunbla, let's see. How will the week be for Sunbla? Yeah. Hey, Sunbla, I like your energy also. Sunbla says, I like your energy. Yeah, I like your energy too. Okay, Tic Tac, give me just a second. So many people want reading. Sometimes these chats get really full, and then other times they're like not that full at all. So the week for Sunbla. I'm picking up that I need to do this, so we'll do that. Okay, so for the week, let's just do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and Saturday, and Sunday. So let's see what we got. So today, we have the star that came up again. So the star is really, like I said, it's really about omens. It's about guiding principles, direction, that kind of thing. So on Monday, we're looking at just surveying things, trying to get a sense of like what's going on here and getting some direction. And also probably you'll get some kind of direction in whatever work capacity or educational capacity, whatever the situation is in your life, wherever your life situation happens to be. And all the energy for this is really about guidance. You know, this is where you're going to get some guidance kind of at the beginning of the week. And that's going to probably set the kind of more or less pave the way for the rest of the week. Next card we have is the Hierophant. So it's about, again, it's about values and, you know, understanding who you are so that you can, you know, share that with the world and make the best. This is a major Arcana card. It's a 5, so it's about change. So tomorrow some changes and things like that. Well, maybe a little deviation and stuff like that. But just remember who you are and be true to who you are. So if things come into your life tomorrow that kind of question your values or something like that, or just don't really feel right to you, and you might get a little bit of that energy, that could definitely be the case and stuff. So, you know, just kind of watch out tomorrow a little bit, but just be true to who you are. Like, don't give in just for the sake of giving in. So like if all the coworkers or other people are just agreeing to be agreeable, doesn't mean you necessarily have to be, but still be. Yep, Tic Tac, I'll give you one here really soon, but let me just finish Sunblow here, and then I'll get to your reading really quick. This won't take long. Anyways, that's Tuesday. Wednesday, we have the Trade Skillman card. So this is where you're going to actually be, people will be looking at you probably on Wednesday and all, probably looking at you for advice or looking at you in kind of awe of like what you're able to accomplish or do. So you're going to have a pretty productive week. By the time Wednesday hits and stuff like that, people will be looking to you kind of as an authority figure, almost sort of like as a, they will be seeing kind of those leadership type qualities within you. That's Wednesday. So Thursday, again, we come back to the 5 in numerology, which is about change. So some changes and stuff happening. This is sort of winning at any cost, but maybe the cost isn't necessarily worth the win. So be a little bit careful here. So it's easy that like on Wednesday where people are really looking at you for you to make kind of choices and things within your week with your associations with other people and all. But just be careful that you don't step on the wrong people and stuff, because yeah, you can win and you can get what you want and you will. But at the same time, you know, sometimes when we win, it's not really worth the win anyway. So just, you know, keeping nice, having a nice relationship with other people. And even if I'm not saying you have to take a backseat or, take the limelight off of yourself per se, but at the same time, recognize those other people that got you to where you need to be at. So by keeping things positive, you're going to be doing really good things and stuff. So that's Thursday. So Friday is the end of the week, and we have another 5. So it's about more change happening. So this is going to be a very change, kind of week for you. So by the time you get to Friday and stuff like that, you're going to be wanting to retreat, get off and do your thing and whatnot. Some of these cups are down, some of the cups are up. But this is going to be a time of introspection for you and all by the time you get here. So the day before, you're kind of like winning, get some things going and stuff like that. But then it's sort of like the surveying of things on Friday. Come Saturday, though, massive action. So whatever you were thinking about on Friday, trying to get a handle on, Saturday, you're going to be making the move to try to get some things done. This is really fiery energy. It's fast moving energy. So Saturday is going to be really a fast day for you. It's going to go by in a blink. And then finally, by the time we get to Sunday, we have the King of Swords. Kings are all about authority. Swords are about the mind. It's about kind of regrouping and rethinking. By the time we get here, it's to kind of figure out what the next step of the journey is going to be. And so that's pretty much it. So anyways, someday I hope that kind of helps you. So it looks like a pretty fun week and stuff like that. So you're going to be guided at the first part of the week. By the middle of the week, we get to Wednesday and stuff like that. You're going to be probably doing the guiding, or people will be looking to you for advice and different things. And then when you get to Saturday and stuff like that, you're going to be taking massive action. And Sunday, you're going to really be in that authority place, and you're going to be ready for the next leg of the journey. So this next week will probably be even a better week and stuff. But this will be a good week for you. It won't be a bad week. So you're absolutely welcome. Okay, Tic Tac, I know you're probably in a hurry. So my future spouse, profession. Okay, can you tell me about some details about my future spouse? Okay, we can definitely do that. Okay, we'll definitely do that. And future of my love life. Yep. So this is all about love, relationships, future wife, what that person might do professionally, and, kind of different things on that end. So let's look. So I am kind of picking up an energy already just with the cards in hand. And I see this person as being kind of like an intelligent person, kind of working person, but almost somebody that has kind of control, somebody that's, how best to put this? So somebody that has a voice. Let me just put it to you like that, Tic Tac. So this person will have a voice. And when I say voice, they might, I don't want to say, it's not super tactful, maybe not the most humblest person that you will end up with, but this person will be good for you, and they will have a voice. And you got to understand, like, different people have different natures. This person's particular nature, I'm picking it up pretty strongly here. This person is going to be, people will try to pacify this person because sometimes they will just say whatever comes out of their mouth, and it's just like, it will be like cringing, like your ears might bleed kind of thing. And so you're going to be good for this person because you will be able to soften things and you will fit this person really nicely. It's kind of like if you have someone that's really passive and then somebody that's really aggressive, they kind of work nicely together because the person that's passive can kind of, they know how to work the person that's really aggressive. And in the same way, the person that's aggressive, they're good at actually getting things done, like moving things forward, like managing things and having those leadership type qualities. And that's what I'm picking up about this person for you. So yeah, so Tic Tac, I'm kind of picking that up. So you guys will kind of feed off of each other. Your energy will be more passive. Theirs will be more aggressive. They will be more, they will say what they need and they will be relentless, And sometimes you may just be like, I'm picking that up really strongly. Geez, I haven't even shuffled the cards yet. So I'm picking that up really strongly that this person will be like, other people may be like trying to like reason with this person, and this person will be completely unreasonable. Okay, so let's find out what we got here. Okay, so the first card we have is the Page of Swords. Pages are messengers, swords are all about things in the mind. So so it's about getting things. Let's move on. You got the 3 of Swords, more things in the mind, right? Swords are all about ideas, thoughts, thinking, and different things like that. This is about betrayal, though. Sometimes when this card comes up, oftentimes like a love reading or something like that, it could be that you feel a sense of betrayal or something like that. I'm not really picking up that this person would necessarily betray you, but this person is not going to be 100% okay just being consumed in the relationship alone. So what I'm actually picking up is that this person will be not a busybody, kind of a busybody kind of energy, but they're going to be more, they're going to want to be around other people. Okay. So the person that you get with, this person is going to be, they're going to be very dissatisfied if they only have you in their life, if they're only focused on you. It's not going to be a really passive, this person, they need other people around them. Very, almost like a Leo type energy, but it's that I'm picking up. But this person is going to be like constantly sharing things that's on their mind with others, whether the people want it or not. And then finally, we have the Page of Cups. Again, pages are about our messengers. So we had the Page of Swords, which is really about thoughts and action and swiftness and conflict and different things. So we kind of had that conflict. We had the conflict with the 3 of Swords there. So this person they're almost conflict starting in some ways. It's not that they're going to betray you. It's just that they're not going to agree with you just for the sake of agreeing with you. They may actually disagree with you just for the sake of disagreeing with you, in fact. So kind of like, I'm not trying to make light of the matter here or anything like that, but that's just kind of the energy that I'm picking up. And then finally, we have the Ace of Cups. So Ace of Cups is about intuition. It's about emotion. It's a message about relationships. And that's really what this whole thing has been about. So this person and all will be good for you. And when we say Ace of Cups, or Page of Cups, rather, and pages, like I said, are messengers. Cups are about relationships. But also, this is a very intuitive kind of thing. So you'll get a very intuitive sense of how to handle this person, which will be really good for you and very specifically this person. And I see it actually being a pretty good relationship. I think that your life will be busy with this person, busier than maybe what you want it to be, whatever you're kind of wanting. Like if you're wanting a peaceful existence, one that is, we're more meditative and that kind of thing, less involved with people, this, that, and the other, probably not going to be the case. So this kind of person that you end up with and all will give you an exciting life. Will get you outside your comfort zone a little bit, probably put you out there. I mean, if you go with this person, for example, to say like some kind of a meditation retreat or something like that, don't be surprised if this is the kind of person that at the end of the retreat is actually leading the retreat, that people are coming to at the end of the retreat, connecting with, and this person's giving advice and that kind of thing, whether they're qualified to do that or not. They will believe that they're qualified. So anyways, I hope that helps you, Tic Tac. So, okay, guys, so it's 8:43. My time is definitely up. I've run about 43 minutes over what I had anticipated running over, but I hope that this has been enlightening for all of you guys. It's been a lot of fun for me. And as always, please stay tuned. If you guys want to support the monks, if you want to support us sharing love for God to others, you're welcome to do that. You can go to helpbydonating.com. Give whatever's in your heart. Don't give anything that's not in your heart. And all the information and everything, how to contact me, how to get tarot readings, any of that kind of stuff that you might want, phone number, email address, the whole 9 yards, it's all down in the description below this video. And until next time, you guys take care of each other and yourself, and I will see you guys on the next episode of Indirect Knowledge. Much love, many blessings. See you soon.